my name is Max James, and as always, I am one half of the TTN Nerds, and tonight is night 19 of the 31 Days of Fright horror movie project presented by the TTN Nerds, and we have reached our final theme for week 3, and it's zombies, and we will be watching the remake of The Crazies, directed by Brett Eisner. I'm going on record right now and saying that I do prefer this one over the original one directed by George A. Romero. I have nothing against either his version. I just prefer this one. That's just how I am on this particular remake. On Dawn of the Dead, I do prefer the original, of course. So with that out of the way, I'm gonna get right into watch my movie. And as always, I have my bottle of water, and I'll be right back in a few seconds to tell you what you need to know about this movie. I just got done watching The Crazies, and it's a good. I love this movie. So but the thing is, I'm a little pressed for time for today, so I'm going to kind of break. I'm going to kind of take some of the categories out of my little. Tell you what you need to know about this movie, but I'm going to kind of tell you the important things. And first up is the plot. The plot of the movie is essentially a plane goes down and crashes within the town's water supply, and it starts infecting people, and just turns the townspeople into bloodthirsty, deranged, mentally unstable crazies. And then the government kind of comes in and takes over, and it just doesn't go well for the townsfolk who aren't infected. And it's really good. 2 is the characters. You got Rhoda Mitchell. She plays Judy, the town's doctor. You might recognize her from Pitch Black and Silent Hill, so she has some background in the horror genre. You got Timothy Olyphant. He plays David. He's a very, very smart cop. So the main characters in the movie are very smart, which I do adore so much, because sometimes I hate when main characters are just dumb. So also the characters are the government itself, because you don't see none of the faces of the members of the government except for one, but he doesn't really count. He doesn't, but because he's just one person. But majority of the members of the government, you don't see their faces because they're always behind gas masks and like heavy gear, and it makes him a really bad guy, because you can't see their faces. So you got the special effects and makeup. The special effects for the Trixie virus infected townspeople were phenomenal. It's some of the best makeup in the last couple of years, according to when it comes to horror movies. Then that's really all the special effects from this movie. You got the practical effects for the house, like there's a house burning. Then you got some of the cars on fire and stuff like that. Those are really done really well. I've seen those 1,000 times, but they just seem really well done in this movie. You got the deaths. The deaths in this movie aren't really of note, but there's a couple scenes that are really great, according to the death scenes. You got this one guy. He plays the principal in the movie. He goes around with this pitchfork and just starts stabbing people who are kind of strapped to this gurney. And it's just really, really great. It's pretty terrifying, because there's 2 people in there who aren't infected, and they're just kind of like, we need to get out of here quick, but they can't because they're strapped down. And the ending. The ending is a 2-part ending. You got the last boss battle between the Trixie infected people. They're the 3 rednecks you see earlier in the movie. David and Judy, they fight those 3. Then part 2 of the ending kind of messes with the movie a little bit, because it the way it ends, I can't tell you, but just the way it all goes down at the end, it just seems like they ruined it a little bit, because you got this really, really realistic movie, then you got this really weird ending. It just seems out of place to me. Then you got that little sequence. Then it goes into like the actual ending, and that part of the ending actually works really well, because it's Judy and David kind of just walking off into the sunset a little bit, kind of like that. But that seems really realistic. But the sequence before that, it just seems very fakey, and it doesn't quite fit the movie. But there's really no other way the movie could have ended. So I have a classification scale: 1 being the worst and 5 being the best. And 1 is your run-of-the-mill horror movie. You got 2 is best watched with a group. 3 is a good horror movie, but just doesn't offer anything new to the genre. 4 is it helps move the genre forward, and 5 is just being a horror classic. And the Crazies, the remake of the Crazies, falls within the 3 guidelines. It's a good horror movie. It just doesn't offer anything new. You've seen tons of infected movies, and you always kind of have the same characters that are very they're smart in this movie, but there's also characters where the main characters are smart as well. But it just doesn't offer anything new to the horror genre, so that's where it has to stay. And so, my name is Max James, and as always, I'm one half the 2 Ton Nerds, and I'm gonna geek out.